Check it out, fam. This Thursday, August the 25th, 2022, at 3 p.m. Pacific, we got a great guest for you on Gangsta with My Health. We have Kenan Wesley Mason. He's a holistic psychology practitioner. He's going to go through all different things on how to avoid diseases like cancer, diabetes, and high blood pressure. So make sure you get your questions ready because he has all the answers. Peace and love, y'all. Gangsta Holistic.
Gangsta Holistic, baby.
I'm glad to have you on the show. So basically, everybody, I am Jay Allen, and this is Gangsta with My Health, okay, where we talk to everyday people about their journey, maybe some struggles that they've been through, and then sometimes we have experts on the topic. I feel like today we got the best of both worlds, as we often like to do, okay? So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce our guest today on Gangsta with My Health. This is Mr. Kenan Wesley Mason. How are you today, sir?
I am well, and I just want to thank you for inviting me on. It's been a long time since we've kind of corresponded with each other.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of history together.
Yes.
So thank you for the invite. I appreciate it a lot.
No doubt.
I remember you invited me on another show a couple of years back, and I wasn't able to come on at that time. So thank you for allowing me to come back to your platform.
Well, we definitely glad to have you, man. And I know today is going to be a great day for you to give some good information to the people, okay? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First, I want to start off, and people, if you don't know what we're going to be talking about, Mr. Kenan is going to be talking about pretty much how to avoid all of these different diseases, diabetes, cancer, heart disease, all of this type of stuff, okay? The brother's an expert, and he can also show you how to get your body back in shape. All right. So, without further ado, let me let you start off with telling the people a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm the founder and CEO of Kennetic-Fit and Wellness, which is a home-based business for physical fitness, physiotherapy, and holistic life counsel. So those are the three main components of the business. My background goes back to 2002. I started in massage therapy as a vocation, which really opened my eyes to natural health. It was my first stepping stone into natural health. I learned a lot, especially because I was living the standard, eating the standard American diet, like how many of us do. But so I started in massage therapy in 2002, graduated. I got my national certification, which is the highest credentials you can have in the profession. So I had that for 8 years. And so I moved on to being a personal trainer in 2010, along with nutrition and wellness counseling or consultation. In 2011, I got my board certification as a holistic psychology practitioner, which goes into getting to the root cause of anything and everything that's been weighing down on us. We have so many things that happen to us from childhood on into our adulthood, things that create negative circumstances in our lives over and over and over again. And so holistic psychology goes into getting into the root cause so people can have anxiety and depression and all the things that we see so frequently. They don't have to apply to you or me or anyone else anymore. No one has to live with depression or anxiety, or chronic depression or anxiety, I should say, because all of us experience all of them. All emotions are put on the table, and all emotions, it appears that they're being labeled, and people are believing that those labels are who they are. So with Holistic Life Counsel, my job is to let people know that you don't have to be labeled, and you can overcome your anxieties, depression without synthetic drugs and potentially becoming another legal drug addict. So these are the things that, that's one of my other credentials. Also, I did Aim to Purpose, the radio show, for nearly 3 years with my mom, Louise Hicks. And
shout out to Louise Hicks.
Yes, which is how I met you.
Right.
Because you were a guest on our show back in 2015. So,
right.
So that's a little bit of my history. I also have a Reiki Master certification from 2005. So I can pretty much go into any kind of any realm. I've kind of run the gauntlet of natural health, or what natural health provides versus the standard of being possibly diagnosed with a certain condition and then having to be susceptible to multiple medications over a lifetime. And you, as an example, I commend you for what you took upon yourself to do to change yourself, because so many people they have symptoms, but they allow them to linger, and they wait until they either have a stroke or a heart attack, or cancer or any other illness that we see today that's so prevalent amongst the masses here in America. So those are my credentials. We're talking about 2 decades, and I'm still learning.
Well, man, as you guys can see, we got a real expert today. So if you guys have some questions you want to type out, some comments, make sure you go ahead and do that. The first thing I want to start with, let's talk a little bit about what I speak about on my page, which is high blood pressure, hypertension. Now, we'll dive into the eating part because we already know a lot of that is about what people consume. Now, sometimes you have people who are, maybe eating the right things and the blood pressure is still high, it's still elevated. And what I tell people is a lot of times that's a lot of something that they're going through mentally, some trauma that they have not addressed. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that can play a huge part in raising the blood pressure?
Yeah, well, high blood pressure or heart disease used to be called hypertension, meaning that you have so many things on your mind that it's affecting your physiology. Because all negative thoughts will affect your physiology in a way where it changes your entire blood chemistry. So stress, that will cause hypertension,
right?
Or a high blood pressure,
right?
And not to mention, again, like you said, the food will just kind of exacerbate the situation. But yes, negative thoughts or negative thinking will definitely hinder progress,
right,
of becoming or becoming better or healthier. So many people plateau because of stress, or because of having too much stress, whether it's work stress, home life stress, relationship stress, all the stressors, and all this will create high blood pressure because it creates an anxious feeling, or what we call anxiety. And anxiety will raise your blood pressure.
Correct. So let me ask you this, Kenan. When there is a situation like that to where you feel like there is some type of trauma that needs to be addressed in order to push past the high blood pressure, what type of methods would you suggest people use or try out?
Well, the first thing is to acknowledge that there is something going on. And acknowledge responsibility that whatever it is belongs to you, and that we are creators of our own life journey. So if we're the creator by way of our thinking and our feeling, Let's try to consider doing the total opposite. Let's have some positive ways of thinking, some optimism for a change. Because the little things create the bigger picture. And so just little things that people can do is start positive self-talk. That's one thing people can do. Positive
affirmations, right?
Affirmations, or in my case, in my field, we call them conditioning statements. Something that it's like a creed that you live by every single day, and you don't deviate from it, because you know it's going to render you a positive result as long as you're committed to it. You have to commit to something in order for change to occur. I mean, if you want things in your life to change, you got to change something in your life. So and change can be difficult for most people for a number of reasons, but change can be a great thing. Embracing change versus being stagnant and complacent. Complacency will bring more anxiety and depression, or it can.
Right.
And so again, doing something different than whatever your norm has been, that's created the adverse effect of anxiety or depression. Do the total opposite, and you'll get an opposite outcome.
Right. Exactly. One thing I want you to touch on is, okay, so I've always, through my life, for the most part, I've been a blue collar worker. The last job that I had, it was a white collar job, right? I was working in sales. I was working in Redondo Beach, and I never really knew how much or how serious people are about their coffee, right? About, some people, and I know people out there can relate, because some of you guys are coffee drinkers. I never really been a coffee drinker, but it used to floor me how people are really like, they can't even start the day.
That's right.
Without the coffee. But I want you to tell the people what the coffee is doing to the body, the adrenal glands, and all of that type of stuff.
Well, it's it's almost like putting your adrenal glands and your kidneys on speed. If you look outside and go to your local, any of your coffee shops, the big ones, Starbucks, Coffee Bean, you'll see lines that are out into the street, waiting for their fix, if you will. I call it crack coffee, because this is what it's evolved into. This specific kind of coffee is not only loaded with sugar, but other artificial sweeteners, and possibly aspartame, and all of these excitotoxins that overexcite the nervous system.
Now, Kenny, tell the people, all these things. Really quick, not to cut you off, tell the people what excitotoxins are. Can you explain that?
Well, typically, an excitotoxin will be anything that makes your nervous system malfunction. And typically, they're all your preservatives that are put into your standard food supply. I mean, there's thousands of them, too many to name.
Right.
But those are typically your standard, what they call excitotoxins, your standard preservatives. And also, many of these preservatives are in a lot of your standard drugs as well. Fluoride and all these different things that are, we know that fluoride is in Ritalin and all of your, many of your other psych meds. So these are the things to watch out for. Excitotoxins, they overexcite the nervous system because it's toxic. Or it's toxic to the nervous system. An overabundance of preservatives that are in the standard food supply, all the food that you see in every single aisle in your grocery store, are loaded with excitotoxins, whether they're jarred, canned, or boxed. It doesn't matter, because again, you're preserving for shelf life, just like you would preserve a relic to not decompose for thousands of years. It's the same concept. Which is why you can leave a McDonald's cheeseburger out for 6 months and it doesn't change.
Mm.
It doesn't change because the preservatives make it so.
Right.
Excitotoxic.
There was a guy who I mention this all the time. There's a guy who I interviewed on the show a long time ago. His name is Kidi Awadu. He's a vegan chef, but the dude is very, very intelligent when it comes to health, nutrition. And he was saying to the audience, he said that, and think about this. He said that over 98% of food that's sold in a mainstream grocery store is not fit for human consumption.
Yes, that would be true. Well, for example, I mean, if you take a teaspoon of the average preservative and take it by itself, you may become violently ill or drop dead because the preservative is so strong on its own. Just like when you isolate sugar from the sugar cane, you isolate it, which means it's going to amplify by default. When you isolate the cocaine from the coca leaf or the coca plant, this is what you get: cocaine. Anytime you isolate or take nutrients away from its natural source, you're going to have problems. You're going to have problems. So yes, so he's right. Most of the food that you see in every single aisle, and that includes many of the produce as well.
Yep.
If you notice, much of your produce, you have to purchase solutions and all these things. You have to soak them in certain solutions to get all this waxy residue off of your mangoes and oranges and all of these things. That doesn't occur in nature, but because the standard crops are being sprayed to high heaven of pesticides and herbicides and fungicides, all of this stuff grows into the plant or into the fruit. So no matter how much you wash it off, it's still going to be there when you eat it. And this is why a lot of foods become recalled. Notice in a lot of your fast food restaurants, of all your vegetables, many of your vegetables, tomatoes, spinach, they're recalled. Now, why would foods of nature have to be recalled? Because they've been highly tainted with all of these preservatives, all of the pesticides and herbicide residue. It's still on the product. Right. So let me ask you this, Kenan. So what would you say to one of your clients that came to you? So when you tell them about all of this food and how it's dangerous and things like that, I know you've gotten this question before. Well, what can we eat? What will be your answer? Well, again, I don't believe in deprivation, so I tell people do the best that you can with what you have. Right. Start slow. Right. You don't have to stop cold turkey and be a stone cold vegetarian or vegan. Because again, that's difficult. And if you want to create a habit, you start slow and work into the habit. So eat anything that you want. Just try to make sure it's the cleanest product possible and get the biggest bang for your buck. I used to tell people to never go to the places like the 99-cent store and Big Lots and places like this. But you can start to become healthier by going to these places, and you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to become healthy. That's the big myth that what you will be spending more money on from all the preservative foods is the doctor bills and the doctor visits. Correct. It's going to cost you more than any organic produce or any organic product that you can purchase over the long period of time. So I tell my clients to just cut you off. Yeah, go ahead. I was saying that's something that kind of floors me too. People always say that eating healthy is expensive, but it's really not. No, it's not. Really not. Now, here we go with perception is reality. When people see a higher price for this box of cereal versus this organic box of cereal, and they see that this box of organic cocoa whatever is $2 more than this box of standard Post Cocoa Puffs, on the surface, yeah, it's going to look scary to most people.
Right.
Because they're going to have to spend more money, so they think, but your body will thank you for it over the long haul.
Correct.
Because you're getting something that your body can use, and you're something that your body can use as a source of energy, versus most of your products that are loaded with sugar or salt,
right,
or flour.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so do the best that you can with what you can, until you can get to that place to where you can purchase healthier and healthier and healthier. Make it a process.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a process, so that way you're always learning as you go.
Right, right.
It's a process.
Let's talk about the power of fruit and the because on my channel I talk a lot about the water from fruit, the H3O2 versus the H2O. Yeah. Talk a little bit about the healing power of fruit, and let's talk about also how, you have some people who say, well, hey, you know what? My doctor said I'm diabetic and I can't have no fruit.
Yeah. Well, the reason why most people are diabetic is because they have too much processed sugar.
Correct.
That's overloading their bloodstream, and not to mention possibly an overload of fat that's coating the cells as well. Which means that insulin can't break those cell walls to clean the sugar out. So if this is the case, then fruit, or what we call fructose, which is the natural sugar inside of all your fruits, this is what the body's been craving for. Not a fruit juice from concentrate.
Right, right.
The body's not craving for that.
Right.
The body's craving for live or living fruit, or,
right,
or all the living nutrients, or all the living minerals that are within the fruit. Whether it's your sweet fruits like mangoes, or whether it's your acid fruits like lemons. All of them are great for you. And all of them can be eaten in abundance. That's what they're for.
Right.
Why should we be afraid or fearful of eating the food that's been provided for us for millions of years?
Right, right. You have some people who will say, well, I get this all the time. Well, Jay, can I eat too much fruit, or can I eat too much sea moss? And I'm like, well, you eat stuff every day that's not conducive for your health. That's so, right. I mean, I know sometimes it kind of just floors me sometimes. But let me ask you this. Let's say there's a patient who comes to you, and let's take somebody like me, congestive heart failure, and they say, Kenny, what can I start doing to help to reverse my situation? What would you tell that person?
Start with celery juice.
Ooh, that's healing. That's healing.
Start with celery juice. Celery juice is great for the heart on its own.
Mm-hmm.
On its own. If you can get past the taste.
Right.
If you can get past the taste, celery juice would be a great first go-to. You can also add some other things, some EDTA, which is like a fatty acid.
Okay.
Because again, you want to break all the crap that's in your bloodstream. Because if anyone has heart or congested heart, that means all the pathways are congested, just like that 405 freeway.
Right. Right.
It's congested. Right. Which means that you have to put something in the body to start to break all that stuff down and kind of weave its way through all the sludge that's in the bloodstream, that's making the heart pump harder than it normally would have to in its normal state, or what we call homeostasis. So yes, celery juice. carrot juice, any of your fruits, apple juice. I tell people, instead of doing apple cider vinegar, eat apples. You can't overdose on eating too many apples.
Right. Right.
You can overdose on taking too much blood pressure medication, but you won't overdose on drinking too much carrot juice or
Right.
drinking too much celery juice.
And juicing is, talk a little bit about the lymphatic system, because a lot of times we got people who got high blood pressure out here, and then they start to experience things like edema, lymphedema, where the legs and the ankles get very, very swollen, and the lymphatic system has basically stopped moving.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about how juicing can help to cleanse and get that lymphatic system back moving.
Well, once you start turning the body alkaline, again, it helps to move all the toxins that have been held in suspension in the lymph nodes. And this is how you develop things like edema or lymphoma, which is a lymphatic cancer. All of these can be alleviated by a few things. One, you can have lymphatic massage, which directly drains the lymphatic system, where you have most of your lymph nodes, which are here in the underarm area, around the groin area. You have a few of them around the neck area as well. They're everywhere. Your lymphatic system, I call it the human body's bathtub, is where all toxins get washed away to get filtered out through your urine or stool, the lymphatic system. Or another thing people can do is rebound or get a mini trampoline, and you just jump up and down on this mini trampoline. And
I did not know that.
Yes, it stimulates the lymphatic system. So you can, it's probably one of the best things you can do for the lymphatic system. Get a rebounder or what's called a mini trampoline, and you jump up and down on it for however long you want.
Right.
And the up and down motion, it mimics that of pistons in your car, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Okay.
And once you do this on a regular basis, it will start to clean and clear out your lymphatic system by default. Or you can do some sort of cleanse or again, juice. Juice is always great because juice, it takes very little energy for juice to start to penetrate into the cell walls. And juicing doesn't have to stay juicing. When you juice, you don't have to have this juice in your digestive tract for so long like you would solid food. It takes 3 to 4 hours, maybe even longer, depending on what kind of solid food that you're eating. But when you juice, we're talking maybe 10 to 15 minutes before that juice breaks through the stomach, the hydrochloric acid, and breaks through your small intestines, so it can make its way to all of your vital organs.
Right.
So the more that you juice, again, your body will thank you for it. It's what your body's been craving for, not these big giant plates of food that have created ill health. Even if it is healthier or organic food, juicing is still the easiest way. And the more you drink juice, the more your cells will be happy, because again, your cells don't need big giant plates of food, because your cells want everything that's inside the food.
Right.
All the nutrients. And if you're eating stuff that's cooked or stuff that's already been processed, your body can't process it even more. So it's just going to be held in suspension. And then your body has to start making fat cells because it can't do anything with it. Your body can only work so fast. So this is how we get further and further behind the 8 ball. And then more and more people start to gain more and more weight, and they don't see it until sometimes they never see it. And then we get to, we see shows like My 600-Pound Life, nature, where people have let themselves go because they've had enablers, And
Right.
and they've had enablers, and also not enough people that will tell them that, do something a little different. Just start doing something different, because um, and juicing is probably the number one thing that you can do first. We drink water and all these things, but water sometimes is not enough, because water only has so many molecular compounds as H2O.
Right.
Now, you would have to add minerals to that water. Things like a chlorophyll, or things like, or you can squeeze a lemon in your water, or squeeze an orange in your water and drink that. So that way your water is amplified now with a higher mineral content, and a higher pH level as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone should know by now that when your pH level is at least 7.4 or above, um, you're not going to have any problems with getting sick.
Right. Right.
Because biological chemistry and science, and even if this wasn't scientifically proven, this would still be the standard of the human body. When your pH level, which is your potential of hydrogen, when it's, again, 7.4 or above, you're not getting cancer. You're not having all these different viruses that we see on TV right now. We're in a COVID era. When you get your immune system up to par consistently, um, diabetes, cancer, heart disease, um, all of these conditions will begin to subside as long as you're consistent.
Now, Kenny, let me ask you: is there anything that people can get or buy that can tell them what their pH level is? How would they find out?
Yeah, you can buy pH strips.
Okay.
I thought I had mine right here. But yeah, you can buy pH strips. You can go to any health food store and purchase it. You can check through your urine or saliva. You can check ways through your urine or saliva, and that will tell you. It's a little chart. It tells you, goes by different colors. If it's a lighter, if it's in the lighter shade, that means your pH is probably at a 6 or lower. Once it starts getting to more of the darker shades, that means you're at a neutral, which is 7. And then you're going to go into the 8s and 9s. And when you get into that area, now you have to be careful, because you don't want to be too alkaline, because that's when you start getting into things like ammonia and things of this nature. So you don't want to go too far with the alkalinity. You want to stay in between maybe 7.4 and 8.4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are a fitness expert. We talk about things like edema, lymphatic system, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes. Talk about the importance of moving the body. Because as we all get older, we don't move as much. Some of us have office jobs where we just sit behind a desk all day. Talk about the importance of having the body in motion.
Yeah, the body's designed to be in motion. And even when we sleep, the body's still in motion internally. We're consistently in motion 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
We're never at a standstill. At the same time, many people still live the sedentary lifestyle, or what we call couch potatoes.
Right.
But the importance of moving, even if it's something as simple as going for a walk, outside in the sun like it is now. We're in Southern California, and it's the perfect day to go out for a walk for 30 to 60 minutes, keeping the body moving so you can jumpstart the metabolism and stimulate the heart as well. Something as simple as walking is something that many of us just don't do. You don't have to go for a jog or a run or anything like that. You can go for a brisk walk, and that will be considered exercise.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the importance of moving. Then you have people that want to engage themselves in physical fitness to lose weight, or some people want to do physical fitness to gain weight because they're so petite. They want to gain muscle.
Right.
So moving your muscles in any way is good, because if you don't, your muscles will atrophy at some point, especially like you said, as we become older. Um, just because we become older, that means we don't have to be so frail and fragile.
Right.
You know, you see people that when they get into their 70s and 80s, as soon as they have a slight slip and fall, they break their hip, and the next week they're dead.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
Right.
so these kind of things, they don't have to happen. I mean, you can live to be 100 or more and still have all your faculties and all of your, all of your functions in order. So yes, physical fitness is very important. Stretching is important as well. Stretching in the morning when you wake up, stretching your muscles. That way you're more oxygen and more air can saturate your body. Stretch,
Right.
stretch yourself.
Right.
It's a good thing to do, because again, it helps the blood to circulate better.
Okay.
Stretching and moving.
Let's go through some of these comments. Unity Grow said, yes, eating your water. Mike said, I started juicing celery, and I think it boosts my high blood pressure. My feet are swollen now from juicing celery. I would have to ask, what else are you consuming? Are you still, what are you eating? What would you say to that, Kenan?
Well, if celery is not the thing for you, then stop doing it. Because every person is going to respond differently.
Okay.
So you can try carrot juice. If celery doesn't work for you, try carrot juice. If carrot juice doesn't work for you, try apple juice. You do what works best for you.
Right.
Because it won't make sense for anyone to if celery juice works for one person but doesn't work for the other person, that's okay. There's a multitude of fruits that will work for to make the heart pump or function at a more optimal level.
Now,
and again, all of your fruits work. So again, if celery isn't for you specifically, try something else.
So what do you think about this concept? I often tell my audience that, when you putting some of the good stuff in, like, you put the celery juice in, you got to take some stuff out too. You can't expect to get the optimal results if you're still continuing to do the things that have ultimately hurt your health. You understand what I'm saying? That's for black seed oil. People say, hey, I've been taking black seed oil and I ain't seen, well, what else are you doing? Have you taken some? You can't put the good on top of the bad, on top of the bad, on top of the good. So what do you feel about that?
Yeah, if you're going to do black seed oil or chlorophyll, which is what I do, I like chlorophyll. I add chlorophyll and barley grass. I do barley grass. I do every so often sea moss as well.
Okay.
Again, if you could stand the taste.
Right.
But they're all great for you. Now, for me, I like doing carrot juice with barley grass. That's my personal go-to. Or apple juice with cinnamon. That's what I do the most.
Okay.
Now, some people like to mix. They mix carrot, celery, and beet juice, or carrot, celery, and apple.
Right.
So all of these are good, but if you're going to do that, that means you're going to have to put some of the synthetic foods away. Or you're going to have to throw them away. Out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
Out of sight, out of mind, because you can't go here and then try to go here. You can't have it both ways.
That's real. That's real, man. It's a sacrifice.
You can't have it both ways.
You have to make. But the thing is, once you start doing things the right way, I know me, man, I used to eat what we call regular, but
regular, right.
Right. But once I started changing my diet, eating more fruits and vegetables, I didn't have a craving for the other stuff as much at all.
That's right.
I was telling people, Every night I used to have to have some peanut M&Ms and some sour Skittles with a Coke. All right,
right.
every single
That's
night,
right.
right?
That's right.
Hooked on that. And then once I stopped doing that, now I can eat when I eat so much fruit now. Now some fruit is a bit sweet for me. Like I can't eat a lot of grapes. You know, when I eat a lot of grapes, I'm like, too sweet.
Yeah.
You know, so
right.
so when you change the taste buds, everything changes. Real quick, let's go through some more comments. Amy Beautiful said, add some ginger. Yes, ginger is great. Ginger is that. You see what else? Who else we got on here? 17 said anything for blocked glands, armpits, and groin.
Again, going back to the lymphatic system, you know, because lymphatics can be considered like a gland. I mean, again, rebounding. I'm going to go back to that. Rebounding. Again, it's about jump starting the body in a way that it hasn't been jump started. I mean, it's just like jump starting your car with the two cables. Okay. You want to jump start your metabolism in a different way. So yeah, rebounding, anything for the glands. I mean, you want to go after, you want to do some sort of cleanse. Most people have never done a cleanse ever. Some sort of internal cleanse, something that'll clean your vital glands, your vital organs, the liver, the liver, the kidneys, the adrenal glands, the lungs, and the blood, the lymphatic system. Everything needs to be clean, not just one. Some people do just a colon cleanse. Well, when you do just a colon cleanse, you're neglecting everything else. So it's going to take even longer for your healing process to occur, which means that the glands are going to be neglected. So you can take certain things, and even the brain will stimulate certain things. Serotonin, melatonin, those coming from your pineal gland, your pituitary gland. These are the things that you want to stimulate the most. Again, going back to positive self-talk, positive thinking. And again, just eating. You talked about the being, I guess I could use the word addicted to certain foods. Correct. And then having once you start juicing, the palate changes, which means that the cravings, that you had for all this other stuff will start to subside, because again, the juice is changing your blood chemistry. Which is changing your brain chemistry too, because everything that you eat goes into your bloodstream, and blood does flow to your brain as well. So water, fruits, yes, water. If you wanna cut out your susceptibility to dementia and Alzheimer's, water, or your water fruits. And eat them in abundance. Again, you cannot overdose from eating too many apples and oranges. Right. You might get a tummy ache. Right. But you're not going to collapse and have this overload. No. If anything, your body will thank you for it, because again, it's getting not only the water content, but you're also getting the mineral content, which is what your cells have to have for energy. Your cells want energy in whatever form it can get it, and the easiest form to get it is through juice, or even sunlight. Now, Kenan, have you ever heard of for the lymphatic system? Sometimes they talk about dry brushing. Yes, I've seen that before, which would be similar to a lymphatic massage. Okay. And they all work great. Because again, the lymphatic system, it's about pushing, it's about kind of putting some compression on the lymph nodes, so you can push the toxins out. It's about pushing the toxins out that have been pocketed for so long. This is how a lot of tumors develop, because your body's pocketing toxins. And the lymphatic system is the first point that your body is protecting you from all these toxins. Right. And once the lymphatic system is overloaded, toxins are going to go to other parts of the body. And if those other parts of the body aren't alkalized, if you will, toxins are going to pocket wherever the energy is low. And so this is how tumors and cancers develop, including lymphatic cancer, which we know is lymphoma.
Right. Now, Mama Hicks, Louise Hicks, has this is his mother. She said, our black men are definitely spreading the good news. We need more of this in our communities to overcome these diseases such as diabetes and high blood pressure. And that is definitely a fact, you guys. That is a fact. I'm glad to have Kenan on today. As you see, he is very, very knowledgeable. Just Reese asked a question. She said, how often should you juice with high blood pressure? I juice every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
You can juice all day, every day.
Right.
There again, there is no limit to the juice. Your body, start learning your body and let your body, because your body knows. Obviously, it knows more than we do, because we do everything against what the body is all about. So your body knows how much juice it's supposed to have, and when to tell you to stop, and when enough is enough for right now. And so your body can assimilate what you've taken in and start to clean yourself out. And then when you get that thirst for more, your body will tell you. The body is more magical than we give it credit for. The only thing is that we have to feed it the energy that it needs to work its magic.
Right.
And it can't work its magic if we're bombarding it with synthetic growth hormones and pesticides and herbicides. And
you got to give that room to grow, to do what it needs to do.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay. You have to push out all the old stuff before you can put the new stuff in, or keep putting the new stuff in, and over time it will push the old stuff out.
Right.
NC
teacher said this makes so much sense. Yes, it does. It makes a lot of sense. Let me see. So now let's dive into kinetic fitness. First of all, how did you? What is it? What is it actually? Tell me what kinetic fitness means to you. Why you started it. Let's start right there.
Kennetic-Fit and wellness is about the body becoming into ultimate harmony, if you will, physically, psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually. That's what Kennetic-Fit and wellness is. Which is why there are the three elements that I'll mention again. One is physical fitness. For those that are local here in the Los Angeles or Long Beach or Northern Orange County areas, if you want physical fitness, and it doesn't matter, it's all levels. I can train all levels of fitness, whether you're a beginner or whether you're in an intermediate stage or whether you're training for an event. If you're training for a tough mud competition, or if you're training for track and field. The second is physiotherapy, or what some people call physical therapy. For those that have been in car accidents or have auto injury or personal injury or sports injury, come to Kennetic-Fit and Wellness. We do cupping, electronic stim therapy, structural realignment, you name it, anything and everything that will help in the healing process. Again, that's for people that are local. Now, for anywhere in the country, there's Holistic Life Counsel. And I can counsel, now that we're in this technological era, I can pretty much counsel with people just like what we're doing right now. Online, from anywhere around the world. And there's two parts to Holistic Life Counsel. One is either standard talk therapy for those that just want some advice or suggestions or some considerations on what they can do to make whatever circumstances are on the surface today, they can make them better tomorrow. So we can discuss that, and it can go into any avenue of life, whether it's health or whether it's relationships, anxiety, depression, you name it. Holistic Life Counsel gets to the root cause, so you won't have to be subjected to 10, 20 years of psychiatry, and I won't diagnose you with any labelings. I won't be labeling you as being bipolar or having manic depression or having social anxiety disorder. That's not what holistic psychology is. That's not my job to tell you who you are. Because many people that get these diagnoses of being bipolar, they, after a while, they start telling people that that's who they are.
That's right.
I'm bipolar. When you meet them, they tell you, I've been diagnosed with being bipolar, or I've been diagnosed with such and such disorder. So holistic psychology gets to the root cause, so you can heal yourself naturally by changing your brain chemistry, because we're all creators. And if we're all creators, that means the same way we created our anxiety or depression or our adverse circumstances, we can change them to make them a positive circumstance or positive outcomes. Or that anxious feeling can become something of excitement, something that will make you feel good versus something that will make you feel horrible every single day. And then you have to go and get diagnosed, which means that more than likely you'll have some 1 or 2 or 3 prescriptions handed to you, which means there's the potential for another diagnosis of something else later down the road. And then people have 3 or 4 diagnoses, which means they're taking 5 or 6 medications all at once.
Right.
All at once. So either talk therapy, or for those that are ready to completely change their entire brain chemistry, I do what's called absolute brain and mind conditioning. But to do that, it requires the first 6 consecutive weeks as a foundation. Because if you don't lay a foundation, you can't build a house.
That's right.
So the foundation has to be put down first. You can only build as high up as your foundation is deep. So you have to build a deep foundation first, and create new brain chemistry, create new neurons in your brain by you. You create them, not the outside influences that are creating them for you. You create them, because this is something you want to change you for you. Because when you change you, you can be better for everybody else.
That's right. That's right.
And so that's what Kennetic-Fit and Wellness is. It's fitness, it's physiotherapy, it's holistic life counsel for anyone and everyone that's ready to change, because some people, they're not ready to go down that rabbit hole.
You're right. You're right.
They're not ready, or they don't want to take responsibility for their life journey.
Right.
They put the blame on everyone else, and and then when the negative circumstances keep reoccurring, they're dumbfounded of why they keep occurring. They want to blame everybody else. So this is about taking responsibility, 100% responsibility, because no one controls your brain except for you.
That's right.
No one.
That's right.
Now, you can be influenced. Your brain can be influenced to think a certain way, but at the end of the day, you have the final answer.
Right.
You. And start learning yourself. Start learning your intuitions, or start tapping into them. Talking to yourself. You can do that. It's okay. You're not crazy if you talk to yourself. You won't be labeled as schizophrenic, not by me at least.
Right.
It's okay.
Right. All right. Mama Hicks said the root cause is the key, the why. She also said, your show is on point, Jay Allen. Thank you for this platform. Thank you guys for joining it. Just Reese asked the question. She wants to know, how frequent would you recommend lymphatic massages?
I would say regularly, maybe once every 2 weeks to once a month. Every 2 weeks to once a month. That way, again, after one session, your body can adjust, make its adjustments. So I would say minimum every 2 weeks, maximum once per month.
Dope. NC says this has been wonderful. Yes, as you guys can see, Brother Kenan has a plethora of knowledge. I want to ask you this question. Then after I ask you this question, I want you to tell the people how they can get in touch with you, what you got coming up soon that they can support. So this is the question I want to ask you. I ask a lot of my guests this question. Kenny, when you look in the mirror, who do you see?
I see a spirit being, a light being, first and foremost. Then I see a black male living in this world that's making himself better every single day.
Right.
And being a better father every single day. That's who I am. In a nutshell, that's who I am. I'm a father. I'm a holistic psychology practitioner. I'm a man. That's who I see when I look in the mirror every day. Forever evolving to make myself better.
That's right. Mama Hicks says she is in the house learning from you, educated black men. Gratitude. Thank you. Teacher says, thank you so much. Can I save this to listen again? Yeah, this is going to be on the page. I save all the live, so you can always come back and listen to it. Now, Kenan, tell the people how they can get in contact with you, as well as what you got coming up that they maybe can support and show you some love on, man.
Well, you can go to my, first you can add me on your Instagram. It's Kenan Wesley Mason. And just follow me there. I'm starting to post more things now, which I haven't for a while. My YouTube channel is Kennetic-Fit and Wellness Info, and that's Kennetic, which is Kennetic. Kennetic-Fit and Wellness Info. That's my YouTube channel. There's a ton of stuff there, including the best of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, which I will get the one that we did back in 2015. I will be putting that up. But guess what? I can't even put anything up now because just like I was telling you a couple of days ago, YouTube flagged a couple of my videos. Why? Because it appears here in this COVID era that you can't use the word, the V word. You can't even say the word. You can barely say the word inoculation. So because of that, we had a couple of shows that were deleted from my YouTube page and from my mom's YouTube page. And I mean, I can't really blame YouTube. I mean, I know they have to follow certain things, but go to my YouTube channel. There's still more than enough information there where if you enjoyed this show, there's more to come when you go to my YouTube channel. Also, my Facebook page, same thing, Kenan Wesley Mason, and my Facebook Kennetic-Fit and Wellness page, which is Kennetic and the number 7. So if for those that live, we're in Southern California. So for those that are in the South Los Angeles, Long Beach, or Northern Orange County areas, and you want physical training or physiotherapy, you can click the link in my Instagram page, and it will give you all the information that you need. And then you can make a decision on whether Kennetic-Fit and Wellness is right for you. But when you come to Kennetic-Fit and Wellness, be ready to go on a ride. Because
ready to work.
Yes, because it's I'm all about the end result, and it's all about the healing process. That's the intention. The intention is to let people know that they can heal themselves. We see on television every single day that there is no cure for this and there is no cure for that. We see that our authority figures that have been talking about this COVID thing, they're catching it now, but they're still telling me and you to keep on getting inoculated and to keep on taking these pills. But we see what the results are. So why would I want to keep doing that to myself and subject my daughter and my family to something like that when we know it hasn't been working?
Right.
Makes sense to me.
Right.
So Kennetic-Fit and Wellness, that's the, or you can email me directly and just tell me that you saw me on Gangsta Holistic, and
Yes,
yeah, we can hook you up. And the email is kinetic7@gmail.com. So all those platforms is the best way to get to me, and I want to thank you for having me on your platform, and I hope that you invite me back again because there's so much to talk about.
Spell your email for them.
The email again is Kennetic7. That's KENNETIC and the number 7 @gmail.com.
Okay.
And we're going to make this a brand. And what's coming up for me is the Kinetic Hour. Following in the footsteps of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, because we had some very special guests that gave a wealth of knowledge, including yourself.
Okay.
And so when that happens, the audience will know. And I am inviting you to come on now as we speak so we can make it official right now.
Yeah.
So the Kinetic Hour is coming. Your guest yesterday was talking about cannabis, so Kinetic Cannabis is coming to in the near future. We can talk about that maybe next time. So yeah, a lot of things are coming down the pipeline, but right now it's all about Kennetic-Fit and Wellness, and getting the word out to as many people as possible and helping as many people as possible, because in a COVID era, I mean, we've been thoroughly lied to. We've been thoroughly lied to, and we've been thoroughly conditioned to believe the lie over the last 3 years that the human body isn't made good enough to heal ourselves from COVID or monkeypox and all this other stuff that's coming up all of a sudden out of nowhere. Polio again after 80 years.
Right.
So we all have to know that the human body is better than all of that. All of it. And if you want the information, Kennetic-Fit and Wellness.
There you go. So people, make sure you follow Kennan's page and get over to Kennetic-Fit and Wellness so we can get you right, okay? Get you right. I want to thank you, Kennan, for being on the show. It was great. Usually I like to end the shows with an affirmation called the Gangsta Holistic Ode to Self, okay? You guys can come back to the live. If you want to write it down, you can write it down. Go ahead and use it for yourself, but it goes like this. With each gift that is bestowed upon me, allow me to hold on to gratitude. My mind is in control of my body. My feet are planted in the overabundant waters of prosperity. Shower me with selflessness. Balance me with an ultimate love for myself. Ensure my mind stays intact, holding on to all knowledge I've acquired, as well as the humility to admit when I do not know. My thirst for something new is satisfied. Never concerned with the opinions of others, I am a part of that spark that changes the world by staying consistently me. All right? So you guys, it's been a great show. Gangster with My Health, featuring Ken. And I just have to say this, man. I feel like you should be teaching some type of class on all of this type of stuff.
all that's coming.
Okay.
So
let me know when it's coming, because I'm gonna be a student for sure. This brother, like I said, he has a wealth of knowledge. Get to his page, make sure you support him, go follow him and whatever he's doing. All right. This has been a beautiful show. I want to thank you for being part of it, Kennan. Peace and love, guys. Gangsta Holistic.